You know that feeling when you stare at your monthly rent check and just think, man, what else could this money be doing for me? Well, what if your living situation wasn't just a massive financial drain, but actually served as your absolute strongest strategic financial foundation? Today, we are looking at a radical shift in real estate, one that's literally transforming housing into a launchpad for personal wealth and independence.
So, welcome to this explainer. We're going to completely unpack how the co-living model is creating this fascinating win-win ecosystem. It's simultaneously providing cost-efficient, all-inclusive living for renters while generating exceptional, almost unbelievable yields for real estate investors. Here is our roadmap for this $35 billion trend. 1. The modern housing shift. 2. Defining the co-living model. 3. The resident financial advantage. 4. Built-in community. 5. The investor opportunity. And 6. The future of shared living. Section 1. The modern housing shift. Okay, so we're dealing with some intense, compounding pressures that are basically breaking our current housing system. We're talking skyrocketing housing costs, increasing loneliness, and this massive surge in single-person households. The traditional apartment model, where you rent an isolated box and just fend for yourself, it's becoming entirely unsustainable, both for our wallets and for our mental well-being. Section 2. Defining the co-living model. Let's get one thing straight right off the bat. This is not just throwing a few random roommates together in a cramped apartment. Actually, scratch that. It's nothing like that. We're talking about purpose-designed shared living. You get your own private bedroom, but you share incredibly high-quality common areas. It features community programming, and most importantly, it comes with all-inclusive pricing. It's a professionally managed, almost hotel-like experience, all wrapped up into a single, predictable lease.
Section 3. The resident financial advantage.
Now, this is where the math gets really exciting if you're aiming for true economic independence. Traditional renting literally nickel and dimes you to death, right? You've got base rent, Wi-Fi setup, fluctuating utility bills, thousands of dollars in furniture, those massive security deposits. Co-living just takes all of that overhead and consolidates it into one totally predictable monthly payment.
By stripping away these massive upfront barriers and ongoing overheads, co-living fundamentally changes your cash flow. Think about it. Without having to drop $3,000 on a security deposit or buy a whole new living room set, you keep your capital liquid. This allows young professionals to safely redirect those monthly savings straight into stock market investments or a high-yield savings account. It shifts the entire dynamic from just barely surviving in a city to actively building long-term wealth.
Section 4. Built-in community and networking.
But hey, it's not just about the money you're saving, is it? It's about who you're saving it alongside. So who's actually adopting this lifestyle? The demographics are super clear. 65% are millennials and 20% are Gen Z. But the staggering part, nearly 3/4 of these residents arrive as solo movers and over half of them work remotely. These purposeful spaces are expertly designed to instantly cure urban isolation by plugging those solo movers directly into an active, thriving community. And because you share these high-quality common areas, you organically mix with diverse tribes, everyone from tech academics to young entrepreneurs and creatives. Networking happens naturally, literally right in your living room over morning coffee. You're sharing ideas, collaborating on projects. This kind of environment directly fosters your own career and financial growth in ways that an isolated studio apartment never, ever could.
Section 5. The investor opportunity.
All right, let's pivot and see how these exact resident benefits are creating an absolute gold rush for real estate investors. Driven by a staggering 21% compound annual growth rate, which means explosive, consistent year-over-year expansion, the global co-living market is projected to hit an incredible $35 billion by 2030. Institutional capital is flowing into this sector so rapidly because, frankly, the unit economics are just too good to ignore. Because the value proposition for the resident is so immensely strong, combining affordability, convenience, and community, these properties enjoy a massive 92% average occupancy rate. That safely outperforms traditional rentals and provides incredible stability for the property owners. Let's bring this down to a micro level to really put it in perspective. Take a standard 4-bedroom home in a market like Sanford, Florida. As a traditional rental, it brings in roughly $1,600 a month. But if you convert that exact same footprint to a rent-by-the-room co-living model, it literally doubles its income to $3,200. You're creating optimized, maximized cash flow without even needing to do luxury upgrades. You just need the space to be highly functional. And investors are achieving these outsized returns by aggressively professionalizing their operations. They're utilizing smart home tech like digital locks and smart thermostats to slash costs. They're leveraging AI systems to ensure roommate compatibility, which, by the way, dramatically reduces turnover. And they're leaning heavily into the hotelification trend, offering housekeeping and digital access to drive tenant retention. All of this is being achieved with a highly efficient average build cost of around $35,000 per bed.
Section 6. The future of shared living.
So where is this rapidly institutionalizing market heading next? Well, the ecosystem is maturing on a truly global scale. We're seeing massive infrastructure in places like London, boasting over 6,500 purpose-built beds. We're seeing the rise of specialized matching platforms, like the Coliving matrix, making it safer and easier for single adults to find compatible housemates. We're even seeing government validation. Housing choice vouchers are now being permitted for rent-by-the-room setups. The model is literally being validated from every single angle.
I absolutely love how architect Winnie Mass puts it. The whole building is your neighborhood. You share the streets, squares, and facilities. This brilliantly summarizes the entire philosophy driving the hard data we've just reviewed. The true financial and operational success of co-living relies entirely on human-centric community design. It works precisely because it treats the building not just as a place to sleep, but as a living, breathing neighborhood.
So, as all-inclusive co-living continues to offer a vastly superior financial foundation for residents, freeing up their capital for real investments and networking, while simultaneously delivering unmatched yields for property investors, you really have to ask yourself, is the era of the isolated, financially draining traditional apartment finally coming to an end? It certainly looks like a new blueprint for urban living has arrived.